the fear of God, that we may serve you in serving the people that you have entrusted us to lead. I pray for our late brother, Honorable Stephen Pym. In your mercy, grant him eternal peace and rest. I pray for grace and peace for his family and the people of Day Open Electorate. Remind us always that life is short, and help us to respond to your grace in performing our roles as members of Parliament to the best of our ability. Amen. Let us pray the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Honourable members, I wish to inform the Parliament that the pallbearers carrying the casket of late Honourable Stephen Pym, MP member for Day Open Electorate, will be admitted into the chamber. With the concurrence of Parliament, the pallbearers will be admitted into the chamber. The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favour say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Admit the pallbearers. Be seated. Mr. Prime Minister.
Honourable members, I move that this Parliament expresses its deep regret at the death on the 24th of September 2023 of the member for Day Open Electorate, the late Honorable Stephen Pim, and places on record our appreciation and recognition of his dedicated services to the people of Day and Papua New Guinea, and we extend our profound sympathy to his family and the people of Day, Western Highlands, and Papua New Guinea. Mr. Speaker, the late member was a very genuine leader. From the opposite side of the House, he would say no when he felt it was no, but he would say yes when he felt it was time to say yes on matters of interest for our country. He was a bipartisan approach leader. Though first term in Parliament, he was very mature beyond the number of terms, not reflected in the number of terms he served. He came in as a very mature politician. I made few contacts with him in his tenureship as an elected leader. In every instance, he speaks for the betterment of his Day people, his Western Highlands, and his Papua New Guinea. And I want to, on behalf of my wife, Rachel, our 6 children, people of Taripori, Pangu Party supporters, members of Parliament and followers, as well as our country and our people, offer our deepest sympathy to his wife and children, to his tribe and people, to the Western Highlands people, to the People's National Congress Party, and to all friends and associates of this leader who lies in rest. God give it, God take it. May his soul rest in peace.
The Honorable Opposition Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand today also to second the motion of the Prime Minister, and also to add that it is with a very heavy heart that I stand today to express great sadness on behalf of the members of the opposition, the people of Kendra and Gloucester, over the sudden passing of our dear brother and colleague, the late member for Day Open, Honorable Stephen Pim, MP. The late Honorable member was a first-time member of Parliament and was appointed as the Shadow Minister for Mining, Petroleum and Energy in the opposition. He was also appointed to the various parliamentary committees, including Public Works and a special parliamentary committee on the 2022 national general elections. The charisma and loyalty the leader showed to the cause of restoring a sound government, accountability and real service delivery to his people and to the nation is highly commendable. The opposition is devastated at the loss of a second member of the opposition in this 11th Parliament in the space of 2 months. Mr. Speaker, we pay our respect to the family of the late Honorable Stephen Pim. We pay respect to his tribe and to the people of Western Highlands Province and his people of Day electorate for having faith in him as their duly elected member of Parliament. May they find comfort in the Lord Almighty this time of sorrow. May his soul rest in eternal peace.
The Honorable Member for Yalibu Pangia.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I too join the Prime Minister and the opposition leader in extending our condolences to the family, especially the wife and the children, to his tribe, the people of Day Council, on this loss of a very young leader, the late Honorable Stephen Ping. Mr. Speaker, we are here this morning to honor and remember a friend, a man who is a family and a leader of a community who has achieved many achievements in life, one of which was being voted in as a leader of the people of Day Council to this Honorable House. It is fitting that we gather here today to honor the late member, where he took his seat just 12 months ago. A very young, energetic leader, very much wise beyond his years. To begin his life as the representative of his people, Honorable Stephen Ping fitted very well into this parliament. This is the art of democracy in our country. He was a very fair man, Mr. Speaker. He was strong, he was balanced, and always found ways every day to care for his people, and very much kind to most of our people who needed his services. But, Mr. Speaker, he was equally tough and courageous, full of fight for the right causes. I saw in my interactions, many interactions with him, Mr. Speaker, that he was trusted by his people. His word was his honor, and it was his honor to serve his people in this great parliament, Mr. Speaker. His dream, Mr. Speaker, was to make Day and our country, Papua New Guinea, a fairer, more prosperous, an easier place to live, where our people can fulfill their potential. Those were the Honorable Stephen Ping's ambitions, Mr. Speaker. And I'm very sure that this is the ambitions of many of us in this parliament. And it was very clear, Mr. Speaker, that the honourable member did not waver, did not compromise on those things that he believed. He had the courage of his convictions that made him a fitting leader, Mr. Speaker. He was rewarded in the last 12 months of his life to sit in this parliament and go about his work as a legislator for his people in our country. Mr. Speaker, late Honorable Stephen Ping became one of less than 1% of our country's population who are privileged to be called on to be serving as members of parliament, where we contest elections every 5 years, win the right to fairly represent our people in this honorable house. Let us remember the guiding force that shaped our friend's life. A lifelong, deeply held passion and commitment to serving his people, of the economic and social well-being of his people. And this is how I believe we best remember Stephen Ping. Not just what he said, but more so for what he stood for. Let Honorable Stephen Ping, he was dedicated every day fighting against the wrongs to achieving a better life for his people. He was in politics not to be something, but do something. Not to get what he could, but to give all he could. Here in Parliament, not to seek power for himself, but deliver for the betterment of his people. Mr. Speaker, he inspired us because he lived by those ideals. Late Stephen Pym, Mr. Speaker, made a journey to this Parliament with the support of many people, his family, his tribe, and his people of Day Council. Our thoughts and prayers on behalf of many, many supporters right throughout the country goes to those family members and the people of Day Council. We pay tribute to his wife Jennifer and his 4 children, Christina, Jeremiah, Crystal, and Stephanie, and his 2 grandchildren, Mr. Speaker. Late Stephen Pym was very dedicated to you as family members, and justifiably you should be very proud of him. To the family, Mr. Speaker, and our close friends, let me say on behalf of PNC Party and many of our families right throughout the country, thank you for your tireless efforts in supporting the late member. I want you to know that we hold you in our prayers as you navigate this journey without a husband, a father, a family member, a friend, and our leader. Mr. Speaker, late Stephen Pym's passing, sudden passing, reminds us of how our lives are fragile, and of course gives us all the opportunity to reflect on our own performances and the service that we want to deliver to our people. May the late member for Day, the Honorable Stephen Pym, my brother, may you rest in eternal peace. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Minister for Higher Education.
Thank you, Speaker. On behalf of the people of Kandep, my family, the department that I serve, the minister, I'd like to join my colleague leaders in offering condolences to the wife and the family, the brothers and sisters, the tribes people, and the supporters. My apologies and my condolences to this time of bereavement of the passing of the late honorable member for Day. I would have been there sharing the bereavement with the families and the people of Day in the house cry after his death, but I regret was not there because I was engaged in some work, similar work that Stephen Pym and I did some time back in settling people in riot, people divided, and therefore I could not make it but recently. And I'd like to acknowledge the leaders of the Rogiga tribe, and I'd like to mention people like the present Commissioner for IRC and the Chancellor of the University of Technology, Sam Coim, the former member for Day, Puri Ring, and the leaders of the Rogiga tribe. I'd like to acknowledge them because they have had the leadership in their fraternity for a long time, from one member to another. And it has been celebrating for them to have Stephen Pym elected. But now that they've lost a leader, I am deeply sorry and give my sympathy. I also acknowledge, and my apologies, my sincere condolence to the governor of Western Islands, the people of Western Islands have lost a very young and vibrant leader. I agree with the sentiments expressed by the honorable member for Yalabo Pange, because I've known Stephen Pym. We've worked together for some time as a non-member of parliament outside, and also when he became member, the honorable speaker, I know this man, and it is very saddening that such a young, vibrant leader who has just come in to start serving his people, expressing his leadership, has just passed on in the usual manner we have seen many passed on. I acknowledge and give my sympathies to all the supporters of the people of Day. The late, the honorable member and leader, Stephen Pim. The name Stephen Pim, Mr. Speaker, is a name that identifies the body that lays before us in the House of the People. But the real Stephen Pim, I like to believe, as a spirit, an eternal spirit, eternal consciousness, eternal souls that live forever. The same is true for everyone that passes on. Our names identifies us by the body we have, but we case in an eternal power within us that is termed by many as the soul. And here we see the eternal soul for Stephen Pim must live forever. And I like to express that in the following way. Sometimes there was a fight between the Rolka tribe and the Kimkas over the Kumas plantation, which is the biggest plantation in the southern hemisphere of this part of the world. And the fight caused many lives and destructions, and he was not a member of parliament. Nor was the former member, Honorable Puri was a member of parliament. I was outside also during that time of the tribal warfare. But we got together. Stephen Pim called me, Mr. Speaker, and he said, Don, please, you'll have to help us to bring into ceasefire this fight that is going on between the Rolkas and the Kimkas. And we talked again and again several times. And the fashion that this man had was to bring peace. Although his immediate tribe was involved with the other tribe in the field, fighting each other, killing each other, hiring hiremen from all over the place. But he said, Don, we must bring peace. Can we find a place that we can have a ceasefire introduced to this fight? And it was not once that he only said that, but he said it several times, Mr. Speaker. And we meet again and again. The former member put a ring, we sat down. Even the current IRC commissioners, Sam Kwem came in. And I also talked to the other side of the warring clan, the Kimkas, in Samanoram and the others, and we tried to bring peace. But Stephen Pim was the one who spearheaded it. Had I not known Mr. Stephen Pim at that time, then I would not have gone up there, but I went up there. And we had that ceasefire introduced, and reconciliation took place, and peace was established then, and fighting stopped, and people come to normalcy, and he got himself elected, I believe, because of the peace that he brought into that part of Western Islands. Mr. Speaker, this is the eternal thing that I see in Stephen Pim. The body lies here, which all of our bodies must lie in a similar manner, wherever we may be, will go down, but the eternal soul that must live forever, the consciousness, the spirit that must live forever, is the consciousness of goodness, of peace, of reconciliation. Even in a tribal warfare, when his tribesmen and families were killed by the other tribe, he wanted to forgive and forget, make people live together. I think, Mr. Speaker, that's a wonderful eternal thing. The body that we have today only identifies us as humans. But what is more important is what is eternal, and that is that goodness of peace, love, and care, of happiness, of permanent prosperity that one brings in so that tribes can live together, so that families can work together, women and children can be happy, where fear is driven out of their hearts, where happiness displaces fear and doubt, and here lies a man in this body whose souls live forever, who practice that. And I had a first-hand testimony and witness to me working with this honorable leader. And as I'm speaking, I know, Mr. Speaker, that Honorable Stephen Pim is listening. He knows what all of us are saying here. He knows he is right here before us paying condolences. And I'd like to urge all Papua New Guineans and us all in this house and everywhere that A body will always go down as it was meant to be. But what must live forever is the values, the eternal goodness, the eternal ideals that one lives is the one that must live in the family, in the wife, in the tribesmen, in the supporters, and us on the floor of Parliament. Let goodness of love, peace, forgiveness, reconciliation, those values forever reign in Papua New Guinea. Let there be peace. From the death of this honorable leader, let's lend those values. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Stephen, may you rest in peace. I love you, brother. We did some good things. Our time will come, but I salute you. We'll see you in the afterlife. Thank you.
Honorable Governor Blong, you speak.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand to join the other leaders who have spoken previously, but I stand as chairman of the Special Parliamentary Committee on the 2022 general elections, and I'd like to pay tribute to the late member, but to also say thank you to his people and his family for electing him to this House, for supporting him in his work. And on behalf of the committee, I just want to say that I reflect the joint thinking of all of us in that Mr. Stephen Pim was a very strong member of the committee. He was very honest and forthright, and I like to reflect on the words that were shared by his party leader. Even though he was gentle in his approach, he never wavered from his commitment for wanting better elections for his people, and he spoke quite openly of the conduct, the way the elections were conducted in the Highlands and how they differed so greatly from the way elections were conducted elsewhere. And he indicated a strong desire for change. And we did mention that in the report, in the preliminary report that we presented in this House last week. And I just want to say particularly to his people and his family that perhaps his legacy in the 12 months he has been in this House will be reflected in the changes that will come through the committee that he was a part of. He was our brother, and he was a very strong contributor, and we will ensure that a lot of the things he stood for, the things he stood for in terms of the fairness that he wanted for his people, his desire that his people should not be harassed and intimidated as they went to the polls. He had a strong desire for all of his own people and the people of Papua New Guinea generally to be able to express their views in a democratic manner. And so, on behalf of the committee, I want to also thank the family for the kindness that you showed us in Hagen, the support that you came and gave to us. Me like to thank you, lo Yupla family. Yupla kamna sana wante mi bla lo despla wok lo papa lo Yupla. And so on behalf of all of us, we are sad to have lost a very strong, committed member of our committee. Every time we called for a meeting, and if he couldn't make it, he was one of the first to give his apologies. And when he had the opportunity, he never shirked, he would turn up. So on behalf of the people of East Sepik, on behalf of my family, and most of all on behalf of this committee that he was a very strong and integral member of, I extend our deepest condolences at the loss of a colleague, a friend, and shall I say, a wonderful human being. To the people of Day, the people of Western Highlands, his clan and tribe, and most of all, to his loving family. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Minister for State Enterprise.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is indeed with a heavy heart that I rise to pay tribute to and to farewell someone I've known for quite a long time, the late Honorable Stephen Pim. Mr. Speaker, Stephen Pim, in my opinion, was a gifted leader and also a unique leader. he was exposed to politics even before he became a member of this parliament. He served and worked alongside Sir Macquarie Maratha when late Sir Macquarie Maratha was leader of the PNG party. He also served for a while as a general secretary of the party that I lead. And over the years, when I began to get to know him, I realized that behind this smiling, unassuming and gentle manner was a man with a steely determination who wanted to do things he wanted to do in his life. Even when he entered Parliament, when he believed that what we on this side in the government were proposing to be introduced as laws were good for the country, he stood up and voted with the government. He demonstrated his maturity also. Unfortunately, he only served this parliament for only 13 months. He left us at a very young age, only 51 years. He was born in September and he passed away in September. When I first heard about his sudden passing, I began to ask the same question that many of us ask, and that is why? Why would he leave us when he's just served his people only 13 months, and when he's just a young man, leaving 4 children and a wife, Jennifer, Jeremiah and his 3 siblings. And when his people of the Rogaga tribe of Day, and the people of Day, and of course Western Islands, had high hopes for him and expected him to deliver on the dreams that he held. But then I realized that like all of us, I'm just a mere human being. Only God gives and God takes. The late Stephen Pym was a graduate of the University of Papua New Guinea. He knew his own weaknesses and his strengths, and he could adjust himself to whatever situation he found himself to be. And I knew that even in his own village, he had a gift of the gab in that he was a good orator. He could turn what was an unfriendly situation or environment to a friendly environment just because of the way he spoke. He had a gift for speaking. And as one of the long-serving members from my province, I had very high hopes for him. And because of my past links to him, I knew he could serve his people of Day, the people of Western Islands, and his own party, the People's Congress Party, and our country to the best of his ability. I also want to thank the People's Nations Congress Party for helping him become a member of Parliament. Back in his village, his own tribe, the Rogaga tribe, were at war with a neighboring tribe. And Mr. Speaker, as we all know, when you have these kind of situations, no one would expect a person from a clan which is at war with another to be able to contest elections and to win. To the late Stephen Pym's credit, he was able to prove everyone wrong, including people like myself. And he won the elections. And he was about to embark on many projects that would benefit his people, and he started by having a joint project, road project with our governor. And he spoke to me on a number of occasions about his dreams to electrify his electorate through funding from his own source, from DSIP and others. And the last time I met him, Mr. Speaker, was on that Friday when he informed me that he would be asking to see me again. Little did I know that only a few hours later he would leave all of us. He is, in terms of politics, although he was in this honorable house for only 13 months, he knew how to play this game. And I can say that many of his close friends had a special nickname for him, and he was called a political animal. Although he was just a starter in Parliament, and as I indicated earlier, he was exposed to politics when he started serving under the late Sir Macquarie Maratha. he knew what he was doing. And I'm saddened to see that the people of Day, after having spent all the resources and the commitment and the time, just like all of our supporters back home, after having high hopes for their member to deliver for them, only to see him leave us so suddenly. To the people of Rogaga, I know they have a history of producing leaders. One of them who went before him was the chief, Puri Ring. The late Stephen Pim comes from a tribe which is known for producing leaders. And the people of Day made no mistake in electing him to serve them. Unfortunately, as I said earlier, God gives and God takes. What else can we say, Mr. Speaker? We can only thank God for giving us a leader who had good dreams, just like all of us. I want to at this time thank God for everything He's done. And to the late Stephen Pim Wang, may you rest in peace, and see you again soon.
The Honourable Minister of Agriculture.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Me too, me stand up here today, Lord. Passing condolence from me go long. Late Mr. Pim. Me like talk Maki Mouse Lord people blow Goroka. Me like talk big blow sorry true go people blow Day Council. All tribe belong him. Family belong him. Mama belong him. Papa blame. Mary blame. Now got the people of Western Islands, particularly go along, got our brother MPs belong you plus stop here today. Miss our Bible mission, late Pim. Mito big plus sorry true lo maki mouse lo people lo groka go lo yubla. Late Pim. I'm also one brother blomi. Midlas a stop one time, walk one time. Middle walking planting discussion, law issues, law development, law district belong. One kind two, law development, law this country. Just a couple of months ago, I'm inviting me go looking Cummins coffee plantation, law district belong. And me go one time, now I'm talking me. I'm talking minister and a brother, I'm talking. This la coffee plantation, I want a big black coffee plantation in Salo, Southern Hemisphere, and I'm to please. Me like kirabim this la coffee plantation, so that all people blow again. Lose him, all when something all walk him, come go back inside now, walk him this la coffee plantation. Me stop na midlab in tram, walk him this la walk. But unfortunately, brother blow me and losing me na go. Late Mr. P, me no man to talk plenty. That's all. Heart belong him, na ting belong him, and big blood to mass, la helping more people belong him. La me walk one time, me challenge la short la time, me recognize this la me look sour long him lo this la. Awesome, so me stand up, lawyer, na me la talk sore again. Brother, late Stephen, thank you lo time, blow you want to me, la lily time it la stop. Rest in peace, brother. Thank you.
The Honourable Member of Mulbaya.
Thank you, Speaker Long Luksawe. Me like taking time na me like talk short long. To become the member of parliament, you miss a Krosembara, you miss around Londak, you miss around Lausanne, you miss a fight against very well educated elites, you miss a fight with them Sinek, all the kind of something people say go. Nambian people say come a parliamentarian, now this place you miss a come and chat. Now I'm late. Honorable Member, for day, my brother, I'm coming chat and stop here. All get the yumi walk him good talk him. Mi tok thank you. Korel message blue mi misalem. Golongem. Mon la man. We stop lo ya. Putim lek blongem lo tubla side. Support him. Ting. Long disla country. Na people. And make him long and lose him life. Me make mouse lo people blow me lo mulbaya. Na me talk sorry. Na Correlance message me la pass him. Kodap. Na talk sorry osem. This la man. And one la man. When me la thinking osem bambla walk one them, stop one them, grab him province and district, country. Look at the people. Go mi mage mouse lo people blow me. Na mi pass him. Correlance golong na gen kisip one time na go one time display mi tok thank you long good time mi tla stop one time politic one time join one time my brother honorable Les Stephen now he stop here talk political plans mi tla walk him around long and now you lose me one day paponing na go you go long hand, big man, please. We will always stop Babla the same way. You go on me to thank you. Now me wishing you all the best. Rest in peace, my brother.
New Guinea Highlands, as in the host fourth city inside Papua New Guinea. Salim Belsore Blayumi, Igolo Disla, great leader. We're handing it lo life belonging. Since I'm stop inside, lo bel blo mama belonging, he come, lo Disla time. Life belonging, he been spending, like achievement. Plenty of good plus something. Through lo Disla, 51 years journey belonging. We like to thank you, long tribes belonging, family members belonging, not two people belonging, long day council. Lo give him this trust.